Hey guys, welcome back to another review here on Overdrive Reviews. My name is Alex. Thanks so much for returning here. Well, today I'm checking out one of the most affordable new cars in America, and it's this beast behind me here. Yeah, the 2023 Mitsubishi Mirage. Now you might be saying, Alex, what are the crazy mud flaps? What are the decals? What is going on this thing? Well, I'm checking out this specific model today because I just think it's so ridiculous looking, and I got to talk to you about it. It is the Mitsubishi Mirage RALLIART, and you can see right here that the RALLIART is front and center. It's basically a bunch of decals. That's all it is. Nothing actually changes with the interior engine, with the suspension. There's no new stiffened suspension. There's no more power or torque or turbo or anything. It's just aesthetics. It's just decals. Like they had a bunch of extra ones laying around in the warehouse at Mitsubishi headquarters and said, hey, let's just slap them on some white Mitsubishi Mirages. They also go on some of the SUVs as well. So it looks kind of cool, and I figured why not do a review of one of these. So today we'll give you a tour of this car inside and out, front to back. It's not very long, not very big, so it won't take too long. But these cars are perfect for folks who are budget-minded, looking for something very affordable, reliable, A to B transportation that gets really, really great gas mileage too. Now there are a few things that are new for 2023, and there are a few things that are no longer offered in 2023. I'll go over all of those things for you as well, and also address the rumor that the Mirage will be discontinued in a few years by Mitsubishi, which is just astounding, because if you look at this parking lot, about 2 weeks ago, this was filled with Mirages, and right now, this Platinum Mitsubishi dealership only has about 4 or 5 Mirages left on their lot. So they're very, very popular. I can't imagine Mitsubishi would actually get rid of them, and maybe they've got longer term plans for replacing it with something else. I don't know. I do a lot of Mitsubishis because I have friends that work at the Mitsubishi dealership here in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. This is Platinum Mitsubishi, who always lends me their cars for a few hours. So follow them as well. They're huge online. They've got great inventory, great sales folks. Platinum Mitsubishi, Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. They're also in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Anywhere you can check them out online, creditpa.com. They will get you done. That is their motto. If you are new to the channel, thank you so much for being here. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for returning and watching with us. Give us a big thumbs up and subscribe as well to the channel. That is all I got to say before we hop into this beast of a hatchback. Let's get going. So we'll start up front here with this kind of razor type of grille with the red trim. Aggressive enough for a little teeny economy hatchback. Not the craziest, sexiest car in the world, but you do have really nice kind of chrome trim up here as well, which I will take. For a car that costs 19 grand, can't complain all that much. All Mirages do come standard with front crash mitigation built right up into the windshield there, and it works rather well for, you know, an economy car. It's not super advanced, but it does work rather decently. The Mirage in general starts around 18,000 bucks and goes a little bit closer to 21,000 with the higher trim. So the ES is the bottom level trim with the hubcaps, about 18,000 bucks after taxes and all that kind of stuff, and then raises up to about 21,000 for the top of the line SE. Now my biggest gripe with this model is that this is basically a base model car with this RALLIART trim on it. So all you really get, fake carbon fiber, you know, wheel well trims, maybe a little symbol right there. Nice glossy piano black wheels here. They're still really, really small. They do look nicer than the hubcaps. I'll give the Mitsubishi designers that. And then this big old decal on the back here with the huge mud flaps, because, you know, you're going to be doing a ton of off-roading in this Mitsubishi Mirage. You got to have those big mud flaps. It's just a little too much for me, but it does grab your attention. It does get your attention because you're like, what is that? What is that? It's just so weird. Well, I will say one thing this car does also well, in addition to the 40 miles per gallon EPA rating, is that it has a lot of cargo room for as small as it is. It actually has more cargo room than the sedan. The sedan has more rear leg room, but this actually has more rear cargo room. So if you want to haul stuff in your small little car, maybe the hatchback is the way to go. So some more things I'm noticing about the RALLIART edition here. You get these nice blacked out side view mirrors as well. Kind of lower located handles, which, you know, if you're tall like I am, maybe they're a little too low, but the door does sound really nice when it closes. Listen to this. not tinny at all for a car that costs $19,000. You do have a nice wing on the back here, kind of blacked out to match the roof, which is kind of cool. Also new for 2023, the option for a blacked out roof. This particular RALLIART does have it. It does look nice and kind of adds to the sporty look and appeal of this particular Mirage hatchback. I mean, you got to give it to them. They went as sporty as they could go with a 3-cylinder car. I just wish maybe the engine got a boost with the aesthetics, but unfortunately that did not happen. So let's dive into the engine here and talk about what's under the hood. It's pretty familiar for those of you who've watched my other videos or know all about Mirages. Let's get under the hood here and see what kind of power we're dealing with. So under the hood here is a very familiar engine if you've watched any other Mirage video. A 1.2 liter 3-cylinder engine pumping out a whopping 78 horsepower and 74 pound-feet of torque. Good for 0 to 60 in, double digits, I think, at this point. But again, that's not the point of this car. This car is meant to be economical, affordable, and get you places safely. Let's look at this engine a little bit closer here. Turn my camera around for you. A very, very small engine, as you can obviously see. 3 cylinders, just 78 horsepower, but you do get about 39 miles per gallon, 40 miles per gallon, depending on how you drive. So despite that gargantuan size of an engine, 1.2 liters, you can imagine there is some competition, and the others do it better. The Nissan Versa, the Accent from Hyundai all have more power and obviously then therefore have more acceleration. So there is more to the other brands, and they're comparably priced also. It's no longer the cheapest car. The Nissan Versa actually is. This is no longer the cheapest one. Another thing to highlight here is that in previous years you could get a manual transmission in the Mitsubishi Mirage, but that is no longer for 2023 and above. It is just standard now that you'll get the CVT engine. They are joining other car brands and saying adios to the manual transmission. The 5-speed is dead, at least for right now in the Mirage. A really easy engine to service. There's not a ton of maintenance on these things. There's no turbo to maintain. Just an easy kind of engine to take care of, which is really great. Plus, there's a great warranty. Let's talk about these monster tires as well while we're outside here. They are 15-inch alloy rims on this RALLIART model, and they look really decent for what they are. They fit this nice economy car well. Up front, you do have standard rotors. In the back, you do have drum brakes. So every Mirage has drum brakes in the rear and pad and rotor up front. 15-inch wheels on this, again, like I said, and they look nice and glossy. These ones are especially shined up, which is nice. But the RALLIART package that you see on this car, all it really is the mud flaps, the decals, and then a few different trim pieces. It's just about 3 or 4 things that make it the RALLIART and take it from being a white Mirage hatchback to this beautiful specimen you see next to me. I've never seen one driving. I've just seen them on the lot here and then online. So if you get your hands on one, you'll have lots of people asking you questions about what is that thing. Let's go in the back and check out the only LED lights on this vehicle. I apologize about the bright sun, but if I did it just in the sun, the white of the car would really blind all of us and we would see nothing. So down there, you've got more of the RALLIART mud flaps. If I took just this shot, you'd have no idea. You'd think it was a Lancer or something crazy. Nope, it's a Mirage. The long, hated pop out of the back rear view camera, they just won't make this thing look flush or make it look more hidden. They keep just plopping it on the back, and I hate that. Okay, so the only LED lights on the car, ready? This high mount third tail light right there, and the tail lights themselves. That is it. There is no LED option on this entire car, and you would think maybe if you spent the $21,000, you'd think, oh, the SE trim, I'm gonna get these really nice LED lights. Nope. All of the Mirages have just these lights right there. Not a bad looking car from this angle. If you're going for affordable sporty, we'll call it that, affordable sport. All right, let's get inside this thing and check out the interior. Okay, let's get inside. So as soon as you sit down, you'll notice that if you're a taller guy like I am, it's a little cramped, but that's okay. The seat goes back decently far enough, and I can sit at a pretty comfortable position. So again, this is the RALLIART edition, so you'll have some nice fancy red trim in this particular model here, which admittedly does look a little bit too shiny in places where, you know, you probably leave a lot of fingerprints and things like that, but it is a nice touch and kind of livens up the interior, as does the side inserts here on the door. They're nice red accent trim as well, and you do also have the red trim around the different vents on the front dash. One there and one over there. So let's talk standard features and things. Every one of these Mirages now comes standard with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is really great. Also has automatic climate control. I mentioned earlier the safety feature, the front crash mitigation system, which is really, really great because, you know, everyone isn't always paying attention these days on the road. It's great when the car can also alert you. You do have some nice trim around the steering wheel as well. You have some stitching on the steering wheel on this particular trim, but I do have a critique here. So the high-end SE trim, which is the top level, is where you have to go to get the keyless ignition start and heated seats, which is a nice feature to have. But you can't get it on any other model. They also have a model called the Black Edition, which looks really sharp. It's kind of in the same vein of as this RALLIART, but you cannot get the Black Edition trim look with push-button start and heated seats. You got to pick one or the other. So the plain looking car with decent looks and nice interior features, or the Black Edition, which looks really sharp and no heated seats and no push button start. I wish they would combine those two things together. I just wanted to point that out. SC trim and Black Edition trim, I wish they went together. Mitsubishi, pay attention to my plea. So let's turn the camera back around for you. Every Mirage comes standard with a 7-inch screen in the center here and also has 4 speakers. Just 4 speakers. You can upgrade to a Rockford Fosgate sound system, which obviously sounds a little bit better. Let's talk about the steering wheel here. Nice controls on either side, out loud Bluetooth talking, hands-free phone hanging up, volume and stuff over here. You do also have some cruise control options on the right side and some nice glossy black trim too. I don't mind this. A little bit fingerprint heavy if you touch it too much, but here's that nice stitching I was talking about on the steering wheel earlier. A nice kind of sporty feel for this little teeny economy car. The gauge cluster remains pretty much the same. Nothing has changed there over the last couple of years. This particular car has just 19 miles on it, which is great. And that gas gauge, which will never go down because it gets such insanely good gas mileage. Ha 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 ha. Let's also talk about the seats that I'm sitting on here. When you step into the car, it is obviously a little bit smaller than most, but you do have decent seats. They're nice and supportive, and these particular ones have these red inserts to kind of match the red inserts on the doors, on every one of the doors, in the front at least. In the back, there are no red door inserts, but they look nice. I mean, for being an economy car, I think Mitsubishi did a nice job putting some color into the interior here. Let's get into the back and show you what that looks like. Now, as I said, this has more interior cargo room than the sedan. So if you're going to be hauling stuff, this is really the one to be having as far as boxes and stuff like that. You're not going to be hauling a ton of big items. But back here, it is admittedly a little cramped for someone of, you know, my stature of 6'2" or something like that. But if you're just having kids back here, 2 kids or something like that, I think you've got more than enough room. Now with these seats up, the rear trunk has just about 17.6 cubic feet of cargo space, which is not a lot. If you're going to be using the rear seat of your Mirage more than maybe not using it, the sedan might be your better option, because the sedan, as I said, has about 3 inches more rear legroom than this hatchback has. Now the sedan does get worse gas mileage, and worse, it's about 2.5, 3 miles per gallon difference. It's not a ton, but the sedan, in my opinion, does look better and feels better and is a little bit bigger, but therefore you do get worse gas mileage. But look at this, that's a pretty nice little shot. I will say Mitsubishi livened this interior up nicely with the red accents and various touches. So I also want to talk feel, an actual physical feel of this car. Steering wheel feels really good. I don't have any complaints about how that feels. It feels the way that, you know, a $20,000 Econo box should feel. The doors, however, plasticky everywhere. Plastic handle here, which feels extremely flimsy. These different window buttons also aren't the strongest in the world. They do feel like you could easily break them if you pull too hard. This is obviously not real carbon fiber trim. This is plastic carbon fiber trim, and also feels a little bit chintzy. So these are the things that you have to really keep in mind when you're buying a car like this. If transportation and economy is all you care about, great option. You have no complaints. A to B. I used to have one of these Mirages actually at one point as a commuting car because I was driving a lot to and from work, and I thought this car is perfect. I will say I got some weird looks getting out of it in a nice suit on my way to work, but you know, if you can get over those things, then there's not much else that's going to stop you from doing so. The seats, cushiony, they feel decent, they feel really good, and they're supportive as much as they can be with being in a small car like this. No power seats are an option at all in either trim, and any of the trims of the Mirage. Now if you do get an SE trim and you have the push button start, it is actually over on the left side of the steering wheel. It's over there. This is where it would be if you had it. Not over there like most cars. They're pulling a Porsche and putting it over here on the left. I'm not sure why Mitsubishi does that, but that is where it's at. I will say I've driven this car kind of in really, really hot weather before with the AC on, and it does really cut into your power more than most cars. So keep that in mind too. If you've got more people in the car and you got the air on and it's a hot day out, the car will let you know that it's maybe a little too overworked. I want to touch on one more thing about safety too before we get this thing out on the road. I mentioned the front crash mitigation detection. There's also automatic braking built into that. So this car will actually brake a little bit for you if it detects an accident and it detects you not taking any action, which is really, really great. But there are also some more available safety features like lane departure warning, automatic high beams, that sort of thing, which you can opt in on the higher level trims for the car. Now also for the Mitsubishi brand, they have a really great, nearly unbeatable warranty. 5 years, 60,000 mile, brand new car, bumper to bumper warranty, and then a powertrain warranty of 10 years, 100,000 miles. Now that is peace of mind. For $19,500, $20,000, you can get a reliable car with little to no maintenance year to year, and really, really great warranty coverage. I mean, this car won't take more than 5 years to pay off. You have a whole warranty past the whole time you have the car. You know, and that's really good peace of mind. That's really important to folks. All right, so we are out on the road in this 2023 Mitsubishi Mirage RALLIART, and just on some back roads right now. The first thing that comes to mind that I want to comment on is just, again, the noise. It's a relatively loud little car. You do hear the engine a lot, and you do hear the outside air a lot, in addition to the road noise. But if you're not opposed to those things, this is a great little ride. I do have plenty of room in the positions that I'm sitting in. Again, I'm 6'2", and this seat is adequately positioned for me. I do have the air going right now. It feels great, so the engine can certainly keep up at speeds like this, about 30-40 miles an hour as we're cruising through town here. I also want to point out again the safety features in this. You can adapt and adjust how far your following distance is, and when the car will let you know that, hey, there's a potential crash about to happen. You can adjust your distance so that it alerts you sooner or later, which is great. Hitting about 50 miles an hour here, and the road is smooth. The car feels nice. I will say there are a few imperfections in the road that I've hit, and it does kind of toss the car around if you're not prepared to have two hands on the wheel. I do want to talk also about the entertainment system. Only 4 speakers. You really kind of have to crank this thing to hear any of the music coming out of the speakers, especially at highway speeds, 50 and above, because they're not very powerful, and also the outside noise from the road, the tires, the air really can sometimes drown out the music you do have on. So keep that in mind. I'm going to take it on some back roads here to see how it performs in and around some twistier roads and small hills. All right, so despite all of the cheaper plastic on the interior of this, no immediate rattles and rubbing together of body panels that I can hear, and I'm going over a pretty bumpy road right now. Let me turn my camera on so you can see. turn it around here and flip it. So back road here, definitely not a smooth road. The last half a mile, and the car, you know, did okay. It definitely got tossed around over some of them, but no major complaints. But I do also want to touch on a few things that you should keep in mind when you buy one of these cars, that you really need to be aware of how small the car is and the bigger cars around you, because you're not always noticed. I've definitely been almost cut off by larger trucks, you know, larger SUVs, and some 18-wheelers. You're not always visible. Maybe with these bright new decals that will change, but I definitely think you can get in someone's blind spot pretty easily and never ever be on their radar. They're perfect for the city, perfect for easy parking, small space parking, and just going to and from work. This would be a great option if you've got a few mile commute. Longer trips, maybe a different story, especially if you're hauling people and things. Let's touch on acceleration and also braking. The accelerator, while the car is not quick, there is some pep initially off the line to get you up and moving, and you can cruise decently at 70 miles an hour on the highway with other cars and keep up. Merging at a shorter ramp might be difficult, but you do have the power and the ability to sustain the speed once you do get up and moving. As far as the brakes, let's hit them right here. No one is behind me, so I'm going to kind of hit them a little bit hard. They grip pretty nicely. There's no immediate nosedive. The car is not all that long, so there's not a ton of weight to throw forward. It doesn't do any kind of crazy skips or anything like that. Again, rotors in the front, drum brakes in the back. That is the same across all Mitsubishi Mirages. Some twisty roads here. Turn my camera around so you can see. Braking right here. Definitely a little squishy on that one. The turning right now into these corners. Phew! Alrighty. Well, that one wasn't exactly as I had planned. I definitely was turning to a different position and the car went somewhere else. Not the most precise steering. It's a little loose, a little soft for my liking. So definitely a little bit of understeer, and the steering wheel's not all that precise, which I can't expect much more than that out of a car of this caliber. And off the line, the engine is loud. Yeah, I'm sure you all can hear that. You can certainly tell that the air is on in this 3-cylinder Mirage, for sure. I don't think I'm stressing the car or anything like that, but you definitely need to be aware of the more weight and the more work you make this thing do, it is certainly more noticeable than other cars. I do want to talk about that rumor that's out there that the Mitsubishi Mirage will be discontinued. I'm calling it a rumor right now because I have no substantial evidence from Mitsubishi themselves that the car is actually going away. So right now it's a rumor, which I can't believe they would actually do, but you know, Ford did kill the Taurus for a bit before they brought it back, and it's been done before. It wouldn't be the first time our car company got rid of a popular model, right? So all in all, a recommendation from me on yes, the Mirage, if you are someone who is worried about dollars in your pocket and having easy, carefree maintenance to not worry about, down if you want a fast car with a refined feel and more bells and whistles and a luxury type of ride. Other comparable competitors do it a little bit better. So that is it for this video here on this 2023 Mitsubishi Mirage RALLIART hatchback. I appreciate all the support so far for the channel. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you are new to the channel. I appreciate all of the support. It costs you nothing. It really helps me out. These Mirage videos are always the most popular ones I do. I don't know why. So hopefully this RALLIART edition really grabs some eyes and grabs some attention. And we will see you guys on the next one. That's it for now. See ya. In audio.